Right, good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you. Following on from a talk I did this morning, my name is Steph Taylor, College Leader at HMP Dovegate, which is in New Toxteth in Staffordshire. It's a Cat B prison. There's around 1,050 inmates, males aged 21 to retirement age. Okay. What I'm going to do, a pretty swift presentation because I talked this morning. I've been extremely lucky over the last 4 years. Starting off my career 10 years ago in offender learning, I went to work at YOI HMP Swinfen in Lichfield. Some of the most prolific young offenders in the West Midlands. An amazing journey, as all our colleagues here know that. And the passion in this room has been wonderful this afternoon. For practitioners and offender learning to come together and talk about what they do is quite amazing. And 10 years ago that would have never happened. And that's all thanks to the Education Training Foundation and before that LSIS. So my journey began locked away with lots of young offenders. The first 6 months I was sent off into broom cupboards and F-wing, as we all know. This lady, my colleague, off you go to F-wing and deliver business studies, or go to G-wing in the broom cupboard again and deliver something else. But actually, you know, I think it's some of the best training in the world. If you can teach in a prison, you can teach anywhere. So anyway, my journey then, 6 years there, then I got promoted and went to work for Serco, which is, the logo's there. As we all know, Serco's very much in the news at the moment. A wonderful transition. I was in HMPs, then I went over to Serco, a private prison provider. As a manager, I've been given the most wonderful creativity over the last 4 years. We run our curriculum. Of course, we have to do literacy and numeracy and all those things that are needed, but I've been given the freedom to bring so much creativity into a prison, as our colleagues and this lady. It's really what works for me and a lot of people. Doing the academic things is great, but it's about developing the guys, making them ready to go back into society. But anyway, that's my little speech. So I've got to talk today about my last project. 4 projects I've done, 2 with Sunset, where 2 years where I went away up to Sunderland with my mentor Maggie Gregson, and the team were amazing, and then 2 years with emCETT, and that team is amazing here. Claire's here, one of the supporters, and Joe's here as well. Ian, all the teams have been quite amazing and helped me on my journey. So my last project, which I'm going to talk about today, the student voice. Ofsted keep telling us the student voice is really important, and what we've looked at, the role of the learning support assistants within offender learning. Can they enhance the teaching and learning offer? And these learning support assistants are prisoners. The guys that are more academic, we have a strict screening criteria. I'm also very lucky to be working with Dr. Anna O'Grady from Nottingham University. We've had this partnership for 2 years. And if you're a practitioner in this room in offender learning, get in touch with your local university. 10 years ago, not one university would want to speak to me. Now, I've worked with Sunderland, University of Sunderland, Nottingham Trent, working with Wolverhampton University. We have students out to visit. We have forums with our learning support assistants, with our inmates. We have one young lady who was doing a BA in education at University of Derby. She volunteers with us on a Monday. So we're bringing out, you know, the young people out from universities as well, and that brings a new dimension into the prison. Anyway, I'm going on. I must move on. My very glamorous assistant here. Okay, so this is my research poster that I've done this year. Right, the transition of the guy locked away in his cell, being a learning support assistant, going to be Superman. And it's quite interesting because I've got one guy that's been a learning support assistant now. We've developed him across the prison, and actually he is nearly Superman. When Ofsted came in, he was there teaching the health and fitness class, and the remarks from this Ofsted inspector were quite amazing. So there are a lot of really good success stories. Right, thank you. Next one, please. Okay, so a bit like we come from the same place, all these superheroes. I'm into superheroes because in the young offenders, when I talk literacy, we did a lot of comic book fiction, which the young guys loved. and I could engage them, so I'm very much into all these superheroes. And they're not bad to look at either, are they, ladies? Okay, next one, please. Okay, so that's a bit about Serco. What is a prison? What's quite interesting about our prison, which is slightly different to a lot of other prisons, we've moved from a Cat C to a Cat B prison, but there's 3 different parts of the prison. We've got 3 different education departments. We've got the main, where the big tough guys are, the main part of the prison I manage. We've also got what we call a therapeutic prison, and there's only 2 of those in the country. And what happens with those guys, they're the most prolific offenders that throughout the country, no prison could sort of seem to rehabilitate them. So they come into our prison for a 3-year cycle. In the morning they have therapy, they go through their crimes, it's really quite intense, and in the afternoon they come to education, and it really does work. For the majority of students it does work. So we do some education there, and then we've got another small part of the prison. We've gone down to 1 wing now of the vulnerable prisoners that can't be mixed with anybody else, which are paedophiles, sex offenders, that kind of thing. So it's quite interesting because in each education area, the guys are very different and the guys respond very differently to education, which you won't believe, but it does happen. Okay, so next one, please. So, really for me, this collaborative working with Dr. Anna O'Grady, she would have been here today, but she's in Hong Kong. She flies the world, actually. I'm hoping to get an invite. But she's away in Hong Kong at the moment. Okay, so what she gives us lots of advice and guidance, okay? And she's really helpful to me because I love doing all this project work, but my job is so busy. I have 100 students up in my block every day, and you know, it's extremely very busy. So she comes in and we work together on research, and then she goes away and does a lot of the academic side, which is so helpful for me. She also advises me. We've got some action points from Ofsted, so she's helped to advise me. So really, well worth getting in touch with your local people, okay? They'll either say yay or nay, it's university, it's finding that right person to link in with. Okay, next one please. Right, so our project, what it was about, we wanted to explore why the inmates wanted to be LSAs, was it for the money, the educational experience, for the family and children, for employability, for life skills or other reasons. So we did lots of interviews, which was very good. Can I have the next one, please? Okay, so Ofsted love quotes, don't they? So amazing. The quotes we got, when Dr. Anne and I sat down to look at the quotes, it was quite amazing. The language and terminology some of these men came out with. We sat crying actually at the end. It was so profound. The learning journey that these guys have been on. And really the most poignant one was the guy that was Superman, the LSA that we worked with, and he said it was being a boy and moving to be a man in prison, which is quite profound. So, right, I've got one more then. One more, please, thank you. Right, so, when number one governor says I can go away and do some research, or when I can come away, very supportive in Serco. I've presented my work to the managing director of the custodial section of Serco. Huge support, really very, very lucky. Not many establishments would release me as much as they do. But because of that support, I've got to show that we are developing, okay? So at the moment, for development points for Ofsted purposes, we've got a working party of people in education staff to supervise and develop the LSAs further, not just with our research, but learning support assistants, inmates that are helping in prisons throughout the country, looked at other research. They love to do it, but it takes them away from being with their fellow peer prisoners to a different level. And that's very hard for a lot of these men to cope with, as we know. So I managed to get a member of staff part-time to look after our LSAs and to support them in their journey, this tutor that we've appointed. And we are really putting a real support programme in to help them. As we all know, it's so busy, sometimes we can't have meetings because we're called away to other things. But these meetings are going to happen. So we're reintroducing the monthly mentor meeting to support them. We're ensuring they're trained in all the Shannon Trust reading and writing. I'm very passionate about that, getting the guys that can't read and write on their journey. So I just wanted to reiterate, really, if anybody hasn't gone through the ETF Research programme, well worth participating, as we all know. It's taken me to another level. I can tell you, over the last 3 months, I've been to, where have I been? Cambridge University, to the Department of Criminology. Wow, that blew me away. A couple of weeks ago, I talked at the Technical Conference and it was filmed there, and I talked about Ofsted, and there was an Ofsted inspector in the room. So I think when we were filmed then, so I said, oh dear, you better have a look at this film. But yeah, so it's really, and at the end of the day, it's not just for me, not just for my team, it's for the students. And often, in all this Ofsted and all this criticality, the students are often forgotten. But yeah, in prisons, it really is about rehabilitation, as my colleagues, we've all spoken about today. So well done to all my colleagues today, wonderful to see and hear it. So let's keep moving it forward, and with the help of the Education Training Foundation, I'm sure we can. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Has anybody got any questions for us?
Oh, thank you. I need a moment. Thank you very much.
Any last minute questions? No?
Just a quick one, Steph. You've been doing a whole organisation approach to action.
Oh, I forgot that one.
No, just to say that other members of staff are starting to do it too, so there's a kind of ripple effect in your prison, isn't there?
It is. Yeah, with emCETT, where Joe and Claire work for, we did this year, as an extra one, we were asked to do the whole organisational approach to action research. It's been quite an interesting journey. Because of time is so tight, what we did, we asked for volunteers. I did choose 1 or 2. But it's quite interesting, the ones I chose never saw it out to the end. The most interesting projects that I had, we had practitioners, teachers, and I had 2 admin assistants in education volunteer. And the admin assistants projects were the best. Isn't that interesting? A lot of practitioners we have found, and it is a problem, won't commit the time. If you've been in a prison and you've taught 8 or 9 sessions a week of 3 hours, as we all know, it's a huge pull. But it's been great because the ones that have participated, we've met once a month with Joss, our Education Training Foundation advisor. We've given them a sandwich lunch, we've worked through these projects, and they have produced posters. So it's been a really interesting journey. So yeah, lots of positive outcomes. And now, in this 4th year, it's really been a light bulb moment this 4th year. Did I tell you we were Ofsted in January? Sorry to go on. But anyway, we were Ofsted in January. Not the best Ofsted we've ever had, but I'm linking now, because I've got to do it. We've got to hit those targets, as we all know, linking all the action research to boosting the Ofsted score. Which breaks my heart, because, I don't believe in, in prisons, 80%. You've got to get 100%. With these guys, it's a practical impossibility. But one has to go there. So it all feeds in and back to all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maureen Wilson from the Education Training Foundation. Can I ask, you talk about sort of sharing effective practice within your prison. How much happens outside of a prison? So how do you share and collaborate with other?
Well, I've been really lucky because I got involved with I was asked to be involved with the education website, Caroline Loftus, Claire Collins, and they asked me to, part of that package, you know more than I remember, my brain's had a lot of 2 talks today, Claire, you'll have to help me with this. We had to, what did we do? We looked at resources on there, and we had to put our views over, didn't we? I did a bit of a case study for you.
You did an outstanding presentation in London.
Oh, I did as well, yes, I did.
You walked away from there totally enthused about the possibility of making change and making relationships with each other, and the impact of that stuff will have an effect across the sector for a long time.
God bless you, Claire. But that's what they've done on that website, the ETF, is fantastic. I just want practitioners, you know, I pass it out to my team, and I do copies. I'll take back the copy of the newsletter, copy that for them. And at events like this, practitioners, we do link up, we do share good practice. I'm always inviting. They say, who's that man who keeps inviting us? And the most wonderful thing, I was at Oxford Cambridge a few weeks ago, and there was a professor from John Jay University in New York who might be coming to visit me. And isn't that amazing? And well, I just hope she invites me back. but it's like that networking. And I can tell you 10 years ago, not one university person would have ever, because offender learning is the Cinderella's of education. Now, at least we are getting our voices heard. You know, and there's people in here, like these fellow practitioners work for City College Manchester, Milton Keynes College. They're really big organisations. You know, Serco's a big organisation. I'm spreading word in Serco. And in the we've got a great setup now in the West Midlands. We work with Daryl, who's the last head of learning and skills in the HMPs. He invites us to all the West Midlands, so we're working, you know, in the Midlands region. So, but it is a time thing, isn't it? You know, regimes are so tight. But yeah, these websites, the work that Claire and everybody's doing, it's all helping. And Joe, you know, working together. But times are tough, you know, times are tough.
I find if you make friends with all the governors in the region, I'll tell you something, it's like what I call bush telegraph. It goes quicker than email, I'm telling you. I've been invited to regional meetings now. I think I'm on my 4th one next week, which is fabulous. I mean, for goodness sake, I'm supposed to be a tutor. I don't know, they've been very kind to me because they are letting me do this. But boy, when you get the word out there and you get the governors enthused, then things really start moving. Yeah, it takes time.